Hi, Dr. Rudy Kachmann today. This is our usual half-hour show on diabetes, preventing, stopping, and reversing. What an opportunity, and I will show you how to do it. And I have a guest with me, Jeremy Varamala from India, who now works near the Purdue campus, teaches yoga, relaxation, and welcome to our show.
Thank you.
And you know, speaking about it, it's from India. India now has the largest number of people in the world, 1.5 billion. I read that in the paper. And they also have the highest number of diabetics in the world. Mm-hmm. China's number 2, U.S. is number 3, but the U.S. has the highest percentage of people, okay? Mm-hmm. We have a lot less people, but we have a higher percentage. So we're going to teach you how to prevent it, stop it, reverse it, and be healthy and be on no medication. That's the purpose of this lecture. And I tell you some of the facts. What got me on this road originally is that I read a book, Diabetes Epidemic in You, okay? Absolutely, should everyone be tested? Absolutely not. Only those concerned about their future. And that's the truth of the matter. This is the book. You can get on Kindle for a couple of bucks. The actual physical copies, I tried on Amazon. They didn't seem to have them anymore. I can't believe it because this is really the Bible of diabetes. And I'll tell you more about it now. But you can get it on Kindle. And I had about 50 copies. I give it all away. And what this book is all about, Dr. Joseph Kraft was a nuclear pathologist at the University of Illinois. Yeah. Remember, they trained some pathologists about nuclear medicine. They took a certain group of doctors. He was one of them. Wow. Because they had a nuclear thing in Chicago. But he was at a university, and what he did autopsies on over 1,000 people. So he looked at the bottom line. He looked at the slides, okay? And he saw the diabetics, the non-diabetics, and what the result was in their body. So he became suspicious that a lot of this could be prevented. So he then had other doctors study live patients by running serum insulin. That's what pushes the sugar into the cell. Serum insulins, and made 5 different curves. And he started at age 3 to age 90. Yes, in 5 different curves. And it's all in this book. And what really interests me here is that 10 to 15 to 20 years, listen to this, before your blood sugar goes up, the serum insulin is elevated. And changes are occurring in the body of the people who have elevated insulins. Normal blood sugars are already occurring. Vascular disease already occurring. And they determined that also another way. They did autopsies that had been done by other people on Vietnamese, Korean, and American soldiers who were otherwise healthy. And they discovered that the Vietnamese, the Koreans, had normal vasculature in their bodies, but the American soldiers, who were of normal weight, already had vascular disease throughout their body. Some even had cancers. Yes.
What is that? What do you think made these American soldiers to have that plaque formation, even though they are very young?
Because, great question, because the American soldiers were already had elevated insulins in their body, and insulin, because their blood sugars were elevated. Their blood sugars were elevated. And although it takes a while for diseases to develop, so they had no objective disease that you could see. They weren't overweight. They had no evidence of vascular disease, but their serum insulins were elevated. So what am I saying is we should be checking serum insulins even in young children, because we could then correct it by teaching them to eat different food.
So you are attributing the way of eating to the elevated insulin.
Yes.
Because when it comes to the correction, you are going to how they eat, we need to change. So
Yes.
primarily you are saying that elevated insulin coming from the way we eat.
From the way we eat. And we need to feed children differently. The foods we're giving little children today have too much carbohydrate and bad fats in them. Not all fat is bad. We have good fats, we have bad fats. You need to learn the difference. My book here, Prevention is the Cure, has a chapter on there, and that you can read that. Indeed, guacamole would be a good fat, for example. Olives would be a good fat, for example. You can even eat some meats that have good fats in them. They're from farm-raised animals. I'm not promoting you got to be a vegetarian or anything like that. So he published this in 2006, but the information in the scientific papers were published 10, 15 years before that. We have known this information all this time, and even today, we're doing nothing about it. They don't teach the med students that. This is many papers. This is not the only book. Mark Hyman, very well known, even from the Cleveland Clinic, a wellness clinic. He has online. You can go Mark Hyman online. He's got 60 pages you can print off for free. For free, telling you the same thing and in great more detail. So what I'm saying is we should be at this time checking everyone with serum insulins. Ask your doctor for it. You can get it, and it's not that expensive, okay? And it's not that expensive unless you get it through your insurance plan. Some of the hospitals might say, well, that'll be $800. But if you go to Anytime Lab on DuPont in Fort Wayne, for example, you can go in there and get it maybe $17, yeah, to find out what your future is. And I have sent people over there. I get my blood tested there because it's pretty darn cheap. The insurance doesn't cover it, but if you go to different labs, for example, they may charge $2,000 or $3,000. They charge according to what your insurance is. Yes. So shop around or go online. You can even go online. You wouldn't believe it. I found a site online. You could even get it cheaper than that. Yeah, where they arrange for you to send it to them. But again, I mean, that's certainly cheap enough. Get a serum insulin. Your serum insulin is elevated many years while changes occur in your body. You have no symptoms, okay? But before even your blood sugar goes up, you may grab your chest and die. Remember I told you about the vascular changes occurring. See, insulin punches holes in the innermost layer of your blood vessels, the intima, punches holes right into it. And so a lot of diseases are related to your metabolic system. Most, and here I have one, I hold it up for you. So eat real food. Our body is foodable to get rid of and prevent most diseases. Not druggable. Drugs don't do it. They're just making a lot of money. They get the patients surrounded, as you see in the cover of my book. Prevention is the Cure is the name of this book. Dr. Rudy's War Why a war? Well, so many people are dying young. They're getting paralyzed. They're getting dementia. They're cutting their arms and legs off. And what they're feeding our kids in the school system, go online, look at it. Cinnamon buns for breakfast. They're occurring everywhere in the nation except maybe New York City, where Mayor Adams, who himself developed diabetes while he was head of the police in Brooklyn, or mayor of Brooklyn, whatever, he started losing vision, and then he became a student, ran the Cleveland Clinic, and it was determined he had diabetes. Now, he corrected it by eating mainly vegetarian way, and he wrote a book on that, a good book to read, but I tell you, but the things he says about fats, I didn't like in that book. Nobody likes everything that I say. So you need to know there are good fats and bad fats. But the book is a good one to read. I'd like you to read it. Odds are you probably get rid of your diabetes, but if you want to do it a little easier, you do what I'm teaching people. Ketones, 16-8. I'll explain to you in a minute. Dr. Rudy, okay. Ketones, I'll tell you what ketones are. If you start eating not so much sugary food, and you're eating instead good fats, guacamole, olives, and ghee butter, for example, and your sugar will go down and your insulin will go down. Your fat cells will open up. Fat will go to the liver, and the liver converts them into little fat molecules called ketones. Glucose in your blood, the molecules are a little bigger. Ketones are very high energy. The brain loves to run on them. Your heart, your kidneys, your muscles love to run on ketones to make you feel better. And if you follow the 16-8 time regulated eating, some would call it fasting, but you're not. You're going to eat every day, okay? So I don't eat in the morning. I eat around noon, and then in the evening. Don't have to be 100% about it. What happens is the sugar goes down, insulin goes down, fat cells open up, the ketones are formed, and now my energy molecule is ketones. They make the brain really feel good. The brain loves ketones. You feel high. I always thought the coffee I was drinking, which is fine in the 16-8, was the one that's making me feel good. That's part of it. But the are the biggest part. I go pick a ball or take a walk, and I'm after about 8 hours, and the 16-8, remember 16, I'm now working on ketones, and when I'm playing pickleball, I feel very energetic. And the exercise itself produces even more ketones, okay? That's maybe why I weigh 132 pounds, 87 years old, 39 for the 40th time. And I feel great. I'm on no pills. I have no illness. It wasn't always that way. I changed a little bit. My pants from years ago were a little bit bigger, but I wasn't morbidly obese, but I weighed 160 pounds. I thought it was good. Now I'm 132, okay? And so I'm just saying I do what I'm teaching you, and it's based on scientific information. It's not just based on these. So what's going on here now in the patients today? We have them surrounded. Public health isn't telling you how to be healthy. Yeah. Matter of fact, I saw the head of public health, state of Indiana recently. He's an emergency room doctor at a hospital system. So what do you think? He wouldn't have to teach what they teach at the hospital to keep you sick so they can work on you more, but he's not on TV. And public health may say, they don't give us any money. Well, they're not giving them much money, but I'm here. I'm not charging anything. He could be doing the same thing. He could be sitting there. He's never called me and said, Rudy, I'd like to argue with you. I don't disagree or I agree. He's not here. Public health is not doing its job. School system is feeding the kids bad food. A house in San Luis, they make so much money. that these food companies and pharmacy companies are contributing to them. They're teaching the wrong thing. The processed food industry, the ones that strip the nutrients and the vitamins and the good stuff off of good food, so that we're eating nothing but sugary products. They're making a lot of money. And you go into the grocery stores, the big stores, and you see in the middle, that's all processed food. You want to get sick, eat that. Stand in the line at one of these big markets, and you see what the people are eating and what they're drinking, and then look at their bodies. I do that because I'm a little bit educated, I guess.
You see,
Not because I'm a judgmental.
yeah, back in here on back in India also, the sugary things like sweets were made for any celebration or festival or occasion, and that connection there is that it is very festive or celebration. Then there is a sugary stuff. 100 years back, sugar was rationed, how much a family can get, and sugar we know now that can produce happy hormones when you eat the sugar. But because sugar became plenty and everybody can get hold of it and there is no ration, now there is an association that was built culturally that sweet things are good times. And now when we are stressed, because in the society we are stressed, we are going and these foods are becoming comfort foods. And that comfort food association is much more deeper than just I want to eat it. It is kind of self-medicating for the stress.
Absolutely right. I mean, most of us are leading stressful lives. I mean, some more than others. It's partly our society. Society has changed. When you just listen to the politicians, they're not doing much for us. They're just doing things for themselves. And like you originally from India, they were eating mainly rice. And when you Google it and say sugar content, 0. No, they forgot it's a carbohydrate. Time you digest it, it's 90% sugar. But now they have the largest number of diabetics in the world, and they're getting bigger too, and partly because our processed food companies and our fast food companies, they invaded these nations, and people are eating the fast food, and they get bigger, and they're becoming diabetics. Yes. And I think, personally, it'll be very difficult to stop this because they've become addicted to sugar. It's easy to become addicted to sugar. Some people think sugar is more addictive than cocaine. I debated that with an educated lady here one time, and I think she won the debate. Sugar is more addictive than cocaine, so you got to pay attention to what you're eating. You got to weigh yourself and see if you're overweight, odds of you being diabetic and get these 30 diseases is pretty high. But not everyone that's overweight is diabetic.
Yeah.
But a wonderful thing that I just learned the other day, I think I should have known before, I was expecting Apple to come out with it, but I realize now online, if you go to vystamd.com, they have a smartwatch, and a smartwatch calculates your heart rate, your respiratory rate. It takes your blood pressure, and you know what I found out? It checks your blood sugar. Yes. Wonderful thing. I've ordered it. I don't have it yet, but the next show in 2 weeks on diabetes, I'll be wearing this watch because we now have lifestyle monitors, or another one, glucose.com. It's another one. These are available, but they cost a lot of money. And this thing was like $65. Yeah. So I ordered one for me. I don't have a disease, but I want to learn from it, and I'll have it on the show next time. Yeah, look at that. Again, it's VYSTAMD.com, and you can learn all about it. And if you do get it and use it, if you want to share your experience with me, you send it to Rudy Kachmann, yahoo.com, because I like to gather information. To me, this diabetes pandemic, epidemic, 80% of the people in this county are diabetic, and our political parties are doing nothing about it. Public health is not speaking up. The schools are feeding the kids the wrong food, so they become diabetic. I bet if they checked all our high school kids, I bet you find 30, 40% already have diabetes. They just don't have visible symptoms yet, but if you check their serum insulin, you'd find they are on the road. Remember, changes occur in your body while the insulin level is elevated. The sugar does not have to be elevated. And the good news too is so, is that the nation of India, which you know and you're part of, has contacted me and you, and we Zoom with them periodically. Also, we're using Google World so they can access the information how to get rid of diabetes by going on their iPhone, and they don't have to use an iPad or anything. And if soon enough they can add a watch to check their blood sugar, maybe we can change this pandemic, epidemic worldwide around. It will take some time. If we do nothing, it'll never happen. Industry will not do it. Industry has the patients surrounded. The hospital system, I know they have obesity clinic, they have diabetes clinic, but I know of patients who went there with a heart problem or a stroke, and they bring up the subject, but they don't teach how to get rid of it. And the way to get rid of it is to eat about 60-70% good fats. Learn what good fats are. They're in this book I held up. 25% protein, 15% fruits and berries. Yes, fruits have fructose in them. They have sugar in them. They have lectins in them. You think that is not the perfect way of eating. It's helpful, but if you reduce it a bit, you'll be healthier. You got to learn about what good fats are, because the sugar goes down, the insulin goes down, and you live on ketones. You're feeling good. You're losing weight every week, and you just love it. So this is, yeah, you can see it well enough. Take a picture of it. And I'm going to have a PDF on that pretty soon. You can print it off the internet. I think that's a good picture of it. That's my food pyramid, which I designed. You want to live to be 100, free of disease? Try that one. And
so in there, 60% fat when you are mentioning, what are the common fats that are good fats that you consume? Because fat had their wrong, perception in the minds of people, because fat is bad.
Yes.
But you are saying something that is opposite to what people perceive when they are going for the lean meat.
Yes.
And the lean stuff and reduce the fat level. You are saying that we should eat 60% of fat. So what are the good fats that they should consume?
Yeah, before we talk about the good fats, let me mention protein. Your body needs a certain amount of protein. Yes, it has a limit. If you eat more protein than your body needs every day, it's converted to sugar. A lot of people don't know that.
Yes.
So when you talk about these bodybuilders and you see these guys on TV and stuff and recommending largely a high protein diet, and be careful, because when you're eating too much protein, it gets converted to sugar.
Yes.
All what you think is not muscles, out of that sugar. But good fats would be guacamole, peppers, MCT oil, for example. If you, I tell you, a very good way to prevent diabetes, stop it, reverse it. Here's a book, in the Simply Keto by Susan Ryan. And she lost 125 pounds. Okay, and what I like about this book, now even a church group that I talk to once a week now, that have adopted this book. I managed to get some a little bit cheaper, so I gave everybody a free copy. They're all following it. What's great in this book is that there are pictures. There are pictures of everything she recommends. She has on there also the amount of calories it has, the amount of fat it has, the amount of proteins it has, the amount of carbs it has. The first 60 pages, she tells you about nutrition in great detail. You become very knowledgeable just reading that. If you use this book, that's the only thing you use, you will not have diabetes in 2 months. Rare exception that you wouldn't do that. Yeah, very rare. And if for some reason you still have it, she would have like 3 meals a day, and this whole group is eating 3 meals a day, and they're all losing weight. They get big smiles on their faces. And I like it. They belong to a church, so they have spirituality, and that's a part of their mindset, stress reducer. And I gave them a talk on stress too, how to use meditation in the church and go to their events, and they're becoming a very healthy group. And they're all following this book, and they're all eating 3 meals a day. But if you want to really speed it up, eat 2 meals a day, use a 16-8 time-regulated eating. Did I say skip days or months? No. I say you stretch out the time like I do. And the reason that you can is that your body secretes about 5 hormones in the morning. The ghrelin level goes down, the leptin level goes up, growth hormone, some steroids, and the blood sugars are like that in the morning. I'm not hungry because of those 5 hormones. So it's easy to go to time-regulated eating, which is also a great way. But if you rather eat 3 meals, follow her book. You'll not have diabetes in a couple of months. And if you do go to the time-regulated eating system, I think I have the answer. I didn't ask you to buy a supplement. I didn't ask you to send any money. This is all free information. And I hope the nation of India, where time-regulated eating is accepted to begin with, so I think that they'll get a lot faster. But thanks for coming, contributing the information from another nature, and yoga and Tai Chi and relaxation. We eat a lot of sugar, but we're stressed. I'm stressed. The reason I walk and maybe pick a ball and that I do, and I sing songs and I relieve stress, I won't be eating bad food. But thanks for listening. I'll have that watch on the next show. I think that is really critical because when you eat something, you can check it to see what the sugar is, what your blood pressure is. You live to be 100. I think you follow this book of my information, you'll live to be 100 and you'll be healthy and play pickleball with me. Thanks for coming, Jeremy, and I really appreciate it. We'll see you next time. We do this because we love you. We care about you. We want you to live to be 100, to play pickleball with me. I'll beat you, though. Namaste. Thank you so much.